It's hard to get it launched until people know about it. And then it has to have backing and you have to show that it works. It's the same process. But once people understand and they see the difference, it's mind blowing. And so much more can happen. Hi, everybody. Ageless Ambitions on luxemediastudios. I have my crew here, Nick and Chris. They're the best. They set me up. And then, boy, do I have someone special who's been in my life for a very long time and successful, talented, just artist, and more to come when we talk about it. But I just want to introduce you to a dear friend of mine, Luis Hernandez.
Aww. Hi, Christy.
You were a baby when we were together. How old were you?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I think we started our work together probably 17, 18, I would say.
Like you're just turning like adulthood, but you weren't there yet, right?
Not there yet.
I think it was so great because, I had my dance studio and I think your dad came in and just looked at the schedule and just said, he needs some dance. I don't remember, but it was something like that, right?
Absolutely.
And so I said, hey, come on in, let's go. Let's do some ballet. So I think you took ballet. And then because you're a skater, you're a figure skater, you're a 6-time national champion in Mexico. Is it all over or is it just Mexico? I forget.
That's correct. I was a 6-time national champion in Mexico. Some of my career was also in the United States in the beginning. And then eventually I was 6-time national champion.
Because you have a dual kind of citizenship because your family's from Mexico, but you were born here, right?
That's
so
I was born in Mexico. So
you were born in Mexico. Okay.
Yeah.
Was it Guadalajara?
Guadalajara, yes.
That's my favorite place. We got to go there. We went across to the ocean side out of Guadalajara and just had the best time. It was so nice. But how we got there from the beginning is you came into the studio and started dancing with me, but you were such a great artist and figure skater and just a little guidance I think needed at the time. I mean, you definitely were being coached, but artistry, I really wanted to take you under my wing and just guide you. And we started doing that. And we had such a great time. You came into the studio and we did off ice, if that's what it's called, off ice. And we really got your choreography to another level. And it was so much fun. I really enjoyed those times. Those were really special times for me that I will never forget. And I even got to go to Mexico with you and and in competition.
You actually stood on the sides of a lot of my competitions at the time,
right.
And you were
like
you were
a
there.
Coach.
You were Coach Christy. And absolutely, Christy, I want to tell you, I was thinking about our experience together, and I really credit you with bringing out that artist side in my skating and really teaching me the passion for dance. And I'll always be grateful to you for that, always. And you taught me how to love expression through movement, and that took me so far in my career. And to this day, I receive a lot of, I don't know what you want to call it, acclaim, whatever, about my artistry. And I really think that I was able to develop it to my fullest thanks to you. So I just want to be very clear about that. Yeah.
And you know what's so funny about that? I mean, there's so many dance competitions out there. There's a lot of dance, but it's so different than when I danced. And what I wanted to teach my students is that get it from the inside, dig out an emotional that makes you move, right? Yes. And you just brought up something right before we went on air is that I just did a video and it was a special video for me. And I said, I didn't even know what I was doing. I just danced and I improv the whole thing. And that's what's not done anymore, and that's why you're skating. And that's why I wanted to dig into artistry and skating because it was and it's hard. Don't get me wrong, because when you have to do a jump, it has to be very technically squared off. And so that's what makes a good skater is being able to define those two things and bring it into one, like square off to do your jumps, but then find that artistry to move. And it just, there was so many skaters that just don't have that, right? Even though they were champions, it's like, wait, I want more I just want to feel it more, right? So that's why I got into teaching more skaters, and I got very, very popular. Everybody wanted to work with me after that. Even Mariah, who won, she was Olympic champion. So so that was so cool. So we have some special bonding on that. So thank you so much for, telling me that, because, that's all I have. That's my gift, is to give what I know. And that's important. So that's what my studio was all about when I had it for 28 years. And, I miss it, but at the same time, I was ready to take another dive like you're doing. And that's what I want to talk to you about. So, you have a lot going on. I know you teach kids skating.
Less and less these days. I've really started to focus on this next phase of my passion and career. Like, I'm driven by passion and by the heart, and you are responsible for that too, for, like you said, bringing it from inside. And more teaching. I love skating. I will always love skating, and I love working with the kids, and I love to still go to the local rink and still help out. But I'm, slowly
becoming a business, like you're growing up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got it.
Because so you're because you're like a kid to me. Like, oh my God. Okay, so but big time. This is huge. This is huge, and I think needs to be spread. The news needs to be spread. This information needs to be spread. That it's you're a founder of a nonprofit, and it's called Lasso Safe. Am I saying that right?
That's correct.
And you emailed me about it, and it's intense. It's a lot, and I don't know how you dug in, but wow, this is special, and it has to do with the safety and the wellness of athletes. Because we saw it in the last Olympics, right? The Russian girl just being, just, I don't know what the word is, but she, they're just, it's not healthy. It's not healthy.
Correct.
Even though they're beautiful skaters, there's just something in between. And even like Simone, what's her last name? Yeah, Simone Biles. I mean, she just came back, but she stopped her Olympic continuation competing because her mental health, and that's what's most important is we don't talk about that. And that's something that's really dear to my heart right now, for even what we were talking about earlier, why I dance. Mental health is so not brought up. And even more when it comes to professional athletes. And this is your go-to now. This is what you want everybody to understand. And you want to, get donations, and you want to, just have people to come in and join this community. And I'm so excited for you. Can you explain it a little bit for me?
Yeah, of course.
It was a lot when I went into it. I'm like, whoa, okay, I got to really study this.
You got it though, Christy. That you nailed it on the dot. I'm going to tell a little bit of how I even got to this place. Okay, that'd be great.
Let's hear that. I want to know that.
So basically, my career, I was very lucky. Long career, 30 years in figure skating. Through that whole time, I was able to experience all of the good and also all of the not so good, and it kind of led me to really have like a reflect back on my career, on what were those moments that did lead me to some really dark times, and how did I even get to those times. And that's interesting. Even I know that you were a part of it too, as you witnessed myself suffering injuries, having some issues, mental health issues myself at the time as a very young kid, that stemmed from my experience in sport. And, there was everything from eating disorder, depression, severe hip injuries that I remember you and I kind of like trying to find answers for them. Do you remember that? Going to doctors and just kind of like, okay, what do we do with this guy?
I think it was Dr. Mark in El Segundo.
Yeah. We used to be trying to find answers for what had happened to me at such a young age, needing, by the time you and I finished working, and I had to, you were always positive experience for me, but by the time that we finished working and I was only in my early 20s and still trying to compete at the level that I needed to, my body had given out, like my body was destroyed. And with that came even more like the destruction of my mental state, because I identified as a skater. That was all I had. That was all where my heart was. And I felt
And
at the time.
that's something very interesting because, you know, I used to train kids like Ibuki, remember Ibuki? And they were so young, 6, 7, and that's all they did. 24, like that was their day. Like go to school, and then you skate before, after, and even more. And it becomes your life versus you lose your identity sometimes. And that's what these parents kind of push on their kids, is they want them to be like the next Olympic champion. And that's really hard. That's really hard.
It is really hard. And I think also what happens is just this a lot of training environments also kind of, you know, they, unfortunately that's the status quo right now. Like athletes, okay, you are trained to be a champion, you're like a machine, you're not seen as a human. And that's where we're losing the human touch, the human connection, and the thinking about the well-being of the future of this athlete. We're not in that place yet where we're thinking of where and how can we support this athlete's whole being, not just the athlete. And so through those dark moments, I really reflected. I was very lucky.
I'm sorry you had those. I'm sorry you had those.
I think it was part of my process, and it's part of why I'm here. And it has a big meaning and a huge purpose for why I had those moments. And that's why I'm here today. And honestly, so after that, I actually had to leave skating. You know, once you and we stopped working, amazing times. I continued to compete, but things for me started to really unravel. My body was giving out, my mind was done. So I actually stopped skating. And I said, okay, I have to leave the sport. I can't continue. Physically, my body couldn't handle it. And mentally, I was just not in the place to continue. And so I actually stopped. I went back home to San Diego with my family. I searched for answers. I searched for a way to heal myself. And I was very lucky to come across an amazing woman here in San Diego. She was working out of a rehabilitation center for athletes. And she just taught me a whole new way of approaching my healing and my sport, and the sport that I loved, because I wasn't going to give up. I just knew that I needed to step away. And so I did. And she was working out of that rehabilitation center. Little by little, we started to kind of unravel and uncover how I had gotten to this state at such a young age, you know? And so I was able to really get clear on what had happened and where I had lacked maybe education, knowledge, what kind of support I lacked in my own career. And then I started to realize, like, okay, there are better ways of approaching my sport. There are better ways, healthier ways to approach my career. And so little by little, I was able to heal myself and then come back to the sport. And that's when I actually was able to become the 6-time national champion, compete on the world level, travel the world competing. It was after that whole experience of the darkness to the healing to being able to continue with what I love. And I saw so many friends and colleagues and people in the sport that did not have the same opportunity that I had to heal and to really reflect. And I realized I wanted to give that back. I wanted to one day share that with people, that there's a better way and a healthier way. And it really, it was kind of like a driver for me to be that example of, like, there is a better way. And so I continued competing. Now I was basically, her name is Pam, the woman that I met here in San Diego. She is my co-founder for this organization. And together we started to research just sports center safety. Like how are the successful training environments that have healthy athletes, what are they doing differently than those that have skaters or athletes with short careers, injury, mental health issues? What's different? And that's when the research started, Christy. And so we started to gather that. And that was about 13 years ago now. And so we started to really just start to do that research. And little by little, we started to meet more people that had the same mindset, that understood that healthier environments for athletes would lead to better careers, healthier athletes, even more success. And so it was an amazing experience. And in just about five 5-6 years ago, we started this organization, Lasso Safe, Pam and I, and we brought together professionals from the business world, from mental health, sports science, all types of people that were ready to bring a change to sport. And so
it's not just for ice skating. It's for
it's for the world of sport. Yes, the world of sport itself. And so we created it started with the creation of a certification for sports centers. And in that process, we started to meet some amazing technology people, and they kind of gave us ideas of how we could make this a faster process. And we actually just created a platform for sport facilities and venues to adopt that gives very detailed insight into their athletes' well-being. And so they can be tracking the well-being of their athletes, whether it's seasonal or monthly. They can be checking in on their athletes, making sure they're healthy. And there's really nothing out there like what we're doing right now. So it's really exciting. Yeah.
I'm so excited for you. Like, this is what's so, like in gymnastics, like at their facilities, because like I said, all it's about is how much better you could be than the next person versus really what is going on with that student,
Yeah.
And if you know more about that student outside of just doing roundup back handsprings, and how many they can do, or backflips off the bar or whatever you want to do, it's like, what's going on with them to make them succeed more, to excel in a positive way. Right?
That's correct.
Oh, I love this.
Believing Before Seeing, a new book by Candace Barr, teaching you how to believe into existence. Available now for pre-order.
I love this.
So right now we're going through a whole movement, Christy. We have the IOC is looking through our platform. We're talking about adoption for the whole world of sport. We've had some amazing people come on board to our board of directors and our whole company staff. So it's growing. It's getting wild, and just so many people coming out to verify and support what we're doing. And it's really we're just in an exciting time, because I think we're finally ready. Like you said, we're ready to. It's now the new measure of success is not only are you winning medals, but are you healthy while doing it, as healthy as you can be, because that's another thing, there's injury is a part of sport. That's for sure. That's part of life, right? But there's injury, and then there is abuse, and there is more.
Right.
Yeah, there are thresholds.
Right.
Thresholds.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like, because I started my skincare, right? And that's like starting over after I had a business for 28 years. And it's hard to get it launched until people know about it. And then it has to have backing, and you have to show that it works. It's the same process. But once people understand and they see the difference in this, that, and the other, it's like, it's mind blowing, and so much more can happen. And I see this, like when they do the Olympics, and it's got your name up there, Lasso, Safe and all that. It's like, this is where it's going to be, so that people can now watch sports and feel better about what's going on. I think so. I really do.
You got it. That's amazing. You got it. Yeah. And so it's like I said, it's not just like, it's just me here with, like, it's been a process of bringing community and bringing that support and people that back you up, that really understand what we're doing. It's been pretty amazing, and almost another whole level of healing for myself to know that other people understand what an athlete needs and how they need to be supported. It's amazing to this experience.
I think you can even expand down the road. I know this is huge right now, but my Ageless Ambitions is always thinking bigger and bigger and bigger.
I love that.
But this could be in the workplace. This could be about how people go to work and what, their well-being, all that, because there's so many disgruntled people that go back and do something bad to people that are so innocent because they work there. This is huge. Like, this is what we all need to discover, is that
that's a huge point, Christy. I know that that's another thing. You have people that were hurt in the process that unfortunately never get clarity on why or how they were hurt, and then they just go on to automatically repeat some of those cycles, right? And it's
Right.
not intended. It's not always intended. So it's not always that they're bad people. It's just that they don't have the education. They don't have the clarity, you know? So that's what we are. We're not here to, it's not a witch hunt. It's all about like bringing clarity to sport, bringing understanding. And with that, we know that we can create just better places. And you're right, workplace, where else? We actually were in, our pilot program ran in 50 schools and 50 universities. So we're also,
even in school.
yeah, so we're also definitely diving into many different avenues. Yeah.
Oh my God, this is so wonderful. So,
Yeah,
so
thank you.
what else are you doing in your like just fun life? Are you, because this is like so intense. It's amazing, but it's a lot.
Christy, honestly, I think I'm ageless, but I'm aging because I'm right now, my focus is 100% on this. And I have very little time for anything else at this
I know.
point. But I'm giving myself, you know, I always stay fit. I like to stay as fit as I can. I don't skate very much. Like I said, I do
Well, we
get
have
to
to
the
go
ring.
skating one day. I
Let's go
have to
skating.
skate. I have my skates still. That's when I bought them with you. Like I only bought them because I could get on with you. But yeah, skating is just, it could be just a release too. Because if you know edges, then you can at least have fun skating. You don't have to do this crazy stuff that all these people have to do when it comes to, I can't even do an axle, but you know, a little, what's it called? No, what is it called? What's a jump?
Axel.
No,
Yeah,
I know axle, but what's the simpler jump? I forget. Like
a Wallace jump.
walls jump. Yeah, I can't even do that. But I want
Oh
to.
my God, I'll
I
never
want to
forget when you skated with me. That was so fun. You
No,
were
remember
always
when
daring. Like, talk about ambitions. You were like, I'm skating. You had no. You were like, I'm skating. You were choreographing with me on the ice, and you had never touched the ice. That was amazing.
I mean,
awesome.
I used to skate when I was little, but you know, that was my dream to be a skater.
Yeah.
That's what I was like living my life through you. So FYI.
I love
But no,
that.
so we gotta just kind of get together soon and just play and have fun. But this is intense, and I want everybody to know. And when everybody's watching this, my audience, you're going to see Louis skate because we're going to get some film of you skating. I have to, and then all the information about Lasso Safe because we want to spread the word. We really want people to know that, you know, well-being and safety for the athletes so that, you know, they can enjoy the process instead of, you know, like if you didn't go down the right road and you didn't heal, it's only a negative thing for the rest of your life. You could be like just in a bad place because what if?
You got it.
What
Chrissy.
if?
You got it. You got it. That's exactly why I'm so driven by it because I know the impact that it will have on many lives. And it's not just about their sport. This goes with you, your experience in sport will go with you the rest of your life. And I want people to come out champions from sport. That's what's fair, right? That's what's fair. That's what everyone deserves. So yeah.
Well, I appreciate you being here. If there's anything else you want us to know to make sure that we understand what you're doing and what you're doing to heal athletes as well as all kinds of, you know, students or whatever, this is huge and I want people to know about it. So last note, just let us know what we can do to get the word out.
Thank you, Christy. I like I said, I would love the support of the community, any former athletes, people involved in sport, people with a heart for our mission. We're always looking for philanthropy, donors, members to come on our board. We are very open and very, very excited to welcome people that have the heart for what we're doing.
Well, I appreciate you being here. You're the best. I miss you. And let's get together soon on the ice.
Absolutely. Miss you too, Christy.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Okay, guys, Ageless Ambitions on Lux Media Studios. Listen, you guys have to go out and really understand that this is such an important cause, and we just can't wait for you guys to look more into it. Thank you, and don't forget to watch other episodes. We'll see you soon.